Brakes! Brakes! Stop! No! No! Schoolboy error, rookie mistake. Now this is going to happen to some of you. Hopefully you're not going to be towing in this sort of wind. Breakaway cable. I was so close yesterday to breaking a breakaway cable because I was rushing around trying to do things and I didn't disconnect my breakaway cable, and literally, luckily I didn't put the accelerator down, but I started to ease forwards and I felt this pull and it pulled the handbrake up a little bit. So I was like, oh, luckily it didn't do any damage, it didn't break the breakaway cable, but I guarantee somebody out there that's watching this video, it's either happened, well, it's guaranteed to have happened to you before, but it's going to happen again if you tow. If you don't tow, it's probably never going to happen to you, is it? So just remember, breakaway cable, disconnect your breakaway cable, and every single time that you come to pull away from the actual Caravan, don't go flat out, just literally let the car ease forwards, and if you are still connected and it's been forgotten, it's not going to break it. It's when you sort of give it a quick snatch away from there, then it's going to break. But if you go nice and easily, yeah, it'll pull the handbrake up and might bend the clip very slightly, but you should be able to bend it back in with a big pair of mole grips. So first,
mole grips.
Yeah, like, you know, the mole grip things. Yeah. So things to check on your Caravan as well. Obviously, the chances are that if you've had it put away, it's sat there not being used in storage, there's lots of things that we're going to want to do. Even if you've had it serviced last year, things between just over the winter with it sat there doing nothing potentially are going to have stopped working. So we can plug in our electrics. So actually plugging our electrics into our vehicle and checking all of our lights. So let's do that. Now as we go through, there's going to be lots of little things, servicey bits, that we can actually check on the Caravan and do like a mini service. So each week now we're going to start doing sort of a mini service and getting the Caravan back ready to actually use, ready for the new season. And it means that when we get closer to Easter, and if that's our main time to go away, we're not trying to get the Caravan ready a week before, find out they've got a load of issues, and then we're in a bit of a panic to get them fixed. We can't then get it booked in for service or any work or repairs because all the service guys at that time of year are going to be completely flat out. So I've connected up the black socket. Obviously if you've got 13-pin connection, just go straight in. I'm not going to bother with the grey connector because I'm not going to check out the fridge and the battery charger and the electrics today. I'm literally just checking the road lights. So we're going to check our front lights, make sure our front lights are working. These are just reflectors, but some Caravans, they are actually lights. This Caravan, these are just reflectors, so they're not going to work, but on some Caravans they are lights and they're going to be running lights. So just check all of them. And then we've got our top side marker lights. Now at the back we should have the red light, and at the front the clear white light. Now you'll see the lights going on and off. The reason that our lights are going off is on our vehicle we've got to check lights. So it's going to go through a routine and it's going to check all of our lights. So we want to be making sure our brake lights are working, our side lights are working, our fog lights working. Now our reverse light, if it's wired in, comes through the grey socket or the secondary part of the 13-pin electric. So if you've only got the trailer lights wired up on your vehicle, or you've only got the black plug, your reverse light will not work. So you have to have either all 13 pins connected or your grey plug connected. And so as I say, on our vehicle it will just keep going through a check. So we'll do our indicators, fog light again, so we're back to where we were before, and then
lights off.
Oh,
lights on.
Did we get indicators then?
Yeah,
I didn't
we
see.
did. There you
Oh,
go.
there we go. Left indicator.
You were talking while the indicators went.
Right indicator. Now, obviously, if you've got somebody at the car that is having to do all of this, if you've got WhatsApp or something like that, you can actually phone them, and instead of going, other side on the brakes, brakes, stop, no, 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 no. Just put them on a phone call and go, right, brakes, side lights. You don't stand at the back of the Caravan then looking like somebody in the Caravan next to you on site is thinking, is he having a fit or what's going on? you can actually just talk to them normally, and you're not shouting, and all the people far end of the site are listening to what's going on.
Well,
again,
you're outside your house doing it, and the neighbours.
yeah, and the neighbours thinking, what on earth? Thank God they're going on holiday. Now, obviously, you should always check your lights before you travel. Every single time before you travel, you want to make sure all of these lights are working, because even if you just checked them yesterday, doesn't mean that they're working today. So every time that you travel, check your lights. So again, we're continuing round now. We know that all of those work, and we want to make sure our top side markers on the opposite side, and again, if we've got running lights down the side, we want to make sure they're all working as well. Now, if it sounds like I'm shouting, it's because we're in Storm Agatha or Agnes or something like that.
Something.
So first thing, that's what we wanted to do, is just check all of our lights. So if it has been that it was last year and we haven't used the Caravan since then, it's a really good time to check that now. If we need to order bulbs, take things apart, check it through, get our service guy to check it, we've got plenty of time. Next thing that we're going to look at is our hitch. So I'm going to disconnect our electrics. So on our hitch, can you see that little bit of waggle room? So you might be able to see, if you get it from that side, you might be able to see it. So we've got a little bit of waggle room there.
Up and down.
Yeah, so up and down waggle room. Now what is causing that is our hitch damper needs to be greased up. So sometimes you've got two holes on the top for your grease nipples. Let's have a look at one that's got two grease nipples. I just like to say nipples. So this one, if we get some movement on our hitch, it's our two grease nipples, but we have still got one underneath, right up, so sort of here, on the opposite side from underneath is another grease nipple.
So you've got three grease nipples.
So on this one, yeah, potentially three. Scratch that, I'm talking rubbish.
Right.
So on this one we've got two grease nipples, and on that one we've got one grease nipple underneath. Now you can tell it's been a year since I've done this,
Yeah.
or last year. So on this one, if I have the camera, right at the very front, sort of up the side there, if I can get the bit of light back in again, you might just be able to see our grease nipple there. Hopefully that picks it up on the camera. If not, I'll put a circle around it. So if you've got no grease nipples along here, it's that one up the top there that we can then grease up and make sure it's doing what it should be doing, and that will take out any play on the hitch.
So how do you get it up there?
Literally it's a grease nipple, and you need a grease gun. So if you haven't got a grease gun, point it out to your service engineer, make sure it's done. It should be something that they'll do on the service as just a normal routine maintenance, but it's something, if you've got a grease gun, you can do your nipples yourself.
Are they expensive to buy?
About 25 quid off Amazon, something like that, so not expensive. And the grease, you do need a specific grease really for the Caravans, which I'll put on the screen now with the numbers that it needs to be, or what type of grease, because I can't remember offhand. Hitch pads, so we can, again, while we're here sort of checking our lights and what have you, we can physically check and hitch up to our vehicle and then pull our hitch pad down. Now you'll notice on the hitch we've got little arrows and we've got a little window here. On the newer Caravans with the black handle, exactly the same thing, we'll still have the same, and we'll have a little window at the side. Now when it catches higher up on the window, it means our brake pads that are in our hitch are perfect. If we come right down here to the end of the window, it's time to start looking to replace our hitch pads in our hitch. Now we have got another video that hopefully I'll be able to find and get popping up now of how to replace those little pads. And I'll come around this side because it's not quite as windy around this side as it is around that side. And all of our little hinges, so all of our little external doors, it's a good time now just to go round and check that none of these have broken off. If one hasn't been clipped in properly and we've had some really strong winds, there is a chance that it might have broken the hinge. So again, a good time just to double check all those, and it gives us a chance to actually order one of those and make sure that they're okay. Something else that we can just double check is all of our locks. So if you've got your key, you can go onto your lockers, lock them all up, and just make sure that they're locking and doing what they should be doing, and everything is working freely. If you're trying to put your key into the little hole here and it won't go in, a little bit of lubrication, so a little bit of WD or a little bit of silicone spray, and again just work it in and out like that, and that should free up the lock and make it work a little bit easier. You'll notice on this one, as I was just saying, we've got a little crack on that hinge bar there. So again, you can buy, or we might be able, sometimes you might be able to glue it. That might just be that we could actually glue and repair that one, but if not, if you have a look on eBay, you should be able to get these doors, and you can get replacement panels. You might be okay if it's the same colour, but a lot of the Caravans are actually different colours. So Abbey Swifts, Sterlings will be a certain colour, and then your Lunas will be a different colour, your Baileys will be a different colour, and again we'll get that on years as well, so different years will be different colours. But we can actually replace this section here, and this internal section with our panel on is removable. So as long as you get the right size door, we can swap this panel into a new door and even swap our locks over as well. So that might be a video that we do later on. If we get one where we've got to actually replace one of those, we will try and do that within the video. Really good time if you've got a motor mover. We don't necessarily have to put the mover onto the wheels, but let's check our motor mover's working. This is going to do two things. This is going to make sure our battery, our leisure battery, is in good condition, and it's going to make sure our motor mover is working. So if we go into our little locker, normally in your battery box you've got a little on and off key switch to put the power on to the motor mover. Make sure obviously our leisure battery is connected. We'll turn the power on, turn our handset on, and we'll run the motor mover forwards, backwards, and then in the different directions. We want to check all 4 of the directions. So when we actually turn our panel on now on the motor mover, we want to try our forwards, our backwards, and we want to make sure both rollers on either side, both motors, are working. So press it, have a look at the one side of the motor, and then go and have a look at the other side and make sure it's going in the right direction. Backwards, exactly the same. And then with our turn buttons, again, we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and again we want to make sure all those directions are doing what they should be doing, and both motors are actually doing what they should be doing. So you will find that when you're doing the left, it will just be the one side motor works and not the other, and then when you do the other side, it will be the other one. But again, we want to make sure that we're going backwards left and forwards right, if that makes sense, and the same on the opposite side. So just making sure all the buttons are working in every direction. What we can also then do is on our little voltmeter, once we've got the power on, we can put the power on in the Caravan and read what our battery is reading. And when we run that motor mover, keep an eye on the needle. Now if that needle drops right down into the red from the green and our mover stops, then we've got a potential issue that our battery is actually too low to power the motor mover. So our leisure battery then either needs to be charged up, or it could be that it's actually a faulty battery. So if we try and charge our leisure battery up first with a recommended charger, if you haven't got a proper charger that is going to charge up your leisure battery, you can plug the Caravan in, but it is going to take a couple of days just to charge that battery up. A proper separate battery charger is a lot better than just plugging it in on the trickle charger in the Caravan. But we want to make sure that that is charged up, and then when we're actually running it, we're not getting a loss of power from the mover. That's a really good test to make sure our leisure battery is actually doing what it should be doing, and is staying up. Now we've got some really high winds this weekend. Hopefully by Sunday, by this morning, it might have passed. But a good time to actually go and look at the Caravan now at roof lights. Make sure that nothing has been sort of damaged with the Caravan, nothing's blown up against it, and checking our roof lights, that all of our roof lights are actually still there and they've not blown away in the wind. Obviously if they have gone, we've got a potential then that water's going to get in, rain, etc., and cause a lot of damage. So a really, really good time to actually check on the Caravan now and make sure, if nothing else, those are all looking good. So that pretty much sums it up. Now we are over at our new Gailey site. It's not a new Gailey site, it's just that we've expanded everything to Gailey. So all of our stock now from Garden Village is over at Gailey. There's not anybody over at Garden Village except for the service lads just doing our own service work. We will potentially open that up later on, but not just yet, for outside work. And then it is, as I say, going to be our own sort of servicing stuff that we'll do over there. But yeah, if you're looking for a Caravan, come over to our Gailey site. That's where we are now. We're just literally 2 minutes off the junction 12 of the M6. You can't miss us. We're on Dobby's Garden Centre. Thanks for watching on Mark at the Caravan Place. Next week we'll have more tips going around and little checks that we can do and keep on top of the Caravan and get it ready now for the new season. Make sure that you've hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit some comments up, let us know if this has been useful for you, and again then we'll see you next week with more tips, which is why it's really important to hit the subscribe button, because we're nearly at 30,000 subscribers now as well. We're not far off, so hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching on Mark at the Caravan Place at Gailey, and we'll see you soon.